Hey guys, Magnus here bringing you another video. This one we're going to be doing another episode of my series, Things I Want to See in The Simpsons Tapped Out. So this is episode 9, we're nearly getting on to our 10th episode, which is pretty cool. I do want this series to be a weekly thing. I do want this to go on for quite a while, till at least you guys stop commenting ideas. And about that, I have got I'm going to be honest, I've got about I think like 9, 10 ideas backed up after this video. So after this video is done, I do need more ideas. I'm gonna have I've got, like I said, so I've got, let's say I've got 10, I've got 5 more videos basically worth of content for this series. So I can go to episode 14. So I do need your comments still. Keep them coming. Your comments will appear eventually if they haven't appeared in this episode. And don't worry, Apperson, your idea will come in episode 10. So anyway, my idea. So let's start with my idea for the day, or for the week. So my idea is the Aristocrats Bar with the Aristocrats. So basically, the Aristocrat Bar is this bar that's opposite Moe's. It's kind of this crappy rundown bar where a bunch of seedy characters hang out, and people prefer to go to Moe's to this, but all the kind of rough and tumble kind of people will hang out at the Aristocrat. So we haven't actually seen the entire building yet. We've only ever really seen the sort of side of the building. So I'm not sure if this is. I'm pretty sure this is like a road, or it might be an alleyway. But we've seen the sign and we've seen like half the building. So of course it would be kind of a Tapped Out exclusive, I guess, in a way. I'm okay with them doing this, like what they did with the beer and brawl as well. I'm pretty sure we've never seen a full shot of the beer and brawl. It's only been the sign and like a little bit of the outside. So I'm pretty sure they made the beer and brawl, so that's fine. And of course the Aristocrat is this kind of, you can just understand what kind of character he is just by his look. So he's this kind of like tough guy, and of course he's this kind of gambler as well. He was in 2 episodes, one where we saw him in the bar and one where he was gambling amongst a bunch of other people. So they could do some cool little tasks with that if they were to add him. Maybe in terms of like what kind of update he could be added in, it's really up in the air. If they were to do some sort of alcohol themed, like I said, there is still some content that they could do for an alcohol themed event. So I still think that's a possibility, but of course they could add the Aristocrat in that. But anyway, moving on. My costume for this, and I've talked about this one quite a bit, and I personally would like it as a costume. I know it's technically already been an animation in the game, so this was an animation. Now I would be okay with it being a permanent animation or it being a costume. I basically want this costume as a permanent animation in the game for Abe or Grandpa, or it being a separate costume. Now if they were to do a separate costume, I'll be honest, there's not loads of tasks they can do with it. They'd have to come up with some tasks for it, which I honestly think they could do. It's not like it's completely out of the realm of possibility. They've done it before, and it's not, I don't think it would be entirely uninteresting, but even if it was just a permanent animation, I'd be happy with that. I just want to have it permanently in the game, but we have sort of seen it before, so there you go. And then my sort of bonus thing for today is actually an annual superhero update. So I've talked about this before, and I mentioned it in my last video, one of my last videos, when I talked about the Pride update. I said, oh well, yeah, we have the Pride update, but do you know what else would be cool is if we got an annual superhero update. And what I mean by this is no, not a full-fledged, superheroes 1, superheroes 2, not like that. I don't want that again, because the second one wasn't particularly great. What I want is they take a week out, just a week, no longer than a week, to return all the old superhero content, and they give us something new each time. So just like they did last year with Senor Ding Dong, when they had the superheroes return, they added Senor Ding Dong, they added his truck, his store, and they also added like the pie truck, and they added a few other decorations as well. I want something like that. I think that would be really cool. I've got a few ideas. For example, you can see in the picture right there, Cupcake Kid, which is a costume for Bart. That would be brilliant if they could add that in the game. There's the Human Fly, which is this kind of like guy who climbed this skyscraper for attention. They could add the skyscraper he was climbing and add him. There's many of ideas they could do, but I will be doing a separate video on the annual superhero update. I've got a few that I've got like a Larry Burns update that I'm going to do. I've got the annual superhero update I want to do. I want to do a separate video on Mr. Bergstrom, because I think that's a very big possibility as an episode time, as a mini event even. So anyway, yeah, so that's it. So that's all my ideas. So let's go and talk about your guys' ideas. So first off the bat, we've got Legoroy 7100. So a mascot event. So that's a reasonable idea. I think they could do something. So character Sally Steele. And I honestly don't know what this is. I've searched a little bit. I've looked on the wiki. I've Googled it. I can't find what this is, so Legoroy, however you say your name. If you want, please do contact me on Twitter or leave a link to like a picture. So send me a picture on Twitter of this character, or leave like a link in the video or something like that. Just somehow get me a picture of this, and I will include it in the next one, just briefly at the start. I'll just say, oh, this is the character they were on about. And also the decoration, the Itchy and Scratchy t-shirt panel, I can understand. I'm not sure if this is like a Tap exclusive you're talking about, but I couldn't find a picture of this either. I couldn't find it because I have no idea where to start looking for an episode, like which episode that this may have appeared in. So if you could get me a picture of both Sally Steele even, and also the Itchy and Scratchy t-shirt panel, that would be great. But anyway, moving on, we have the costume, Radioactive Bar, and special is tasks for Poochie mascot. And then they said that the Bar costume is from Ha Ha Land, which actually helps because I had no idea what you were on about first, and then I looked at your comments, so it's all good. So, your reply even. So yeah, so like I said, I have no idea what the heck the Sally Steele is, and I don't really know what the Itchy and Scratchy t-shirt panel is. I'm not sure what exactly it is, but whatever it is, please do send me a picture on either Twitter or leave me like a link to the picture on YouTube. If there isn't like a picture of it online, what you could always do is upload it to Google Drive, make it public, and then give me that link. That Google Drive is completely free. You can upload pictures on that. It's really good software. So yeah. So this is the Radioactive Bart he was on about. So this is the one in Ha Ha Land. So of course in Ha Ha Land, I've talked about this as a potential costume in my things they should have added, or they could have added in the Ha Ha Land episode time. So basically there was a side quest in Ha Ha Land with Bart kind of becoming this kind of chemistry expert. And he wore this silly costume. Not silly, whatever. And I think, yeah, it could make a cool costume. I talked about it. I basically said it was the most potential costume that they could have added. I definitely think they could make some cool tasks with it. So yeah, it's a good choice, and I think it's not completely bizarre. I'd be for this. And then of course he talked about a set of tasks for the Poochie mascot. I'm going to disagree with this. I don't want tasks for the Poochie mascot personally. What I prefer they do is they give us Poochie as an actual character. I would much prefer that. So that's just my idea, but there you go. So yeah, that's the Poochie mascot tasks and Radioactive Bar, and of course the other two I don't actually have a picture for, but if you can send me one, that'd be great. Anyway, let's move on. So we have Samuel Dingman. So he says, I would really love to see Mr. Bergstrom added into the game with his apartment building he lives in. Oh, I forgot the name. Or maybe maybe a train station. A costume I would like to see is a costume for Casino Jesse, so he would be normal Jesse, just like to think Mod should have. Now I have this is like the episode where I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. That sounded a bit condescending. I didn't mean it to be. I don't know what you're on about with the Casino Jesse either. Not really. Like, I don't know if you mean Jesse Grass. It's just because there's different spellings of Jesse, or maybe it was a different character and you put the wrong. I'm really confused at this as well. So please do tell me what this is. Again, send me a link, whatever. So he would be normal Jesse, just like, okay. The extra thing could be more items in Krusty Land and or more crops on Cletus's farm, but both are forgotten. Keep making these awesome videos. Thank you. So, of course, this comment was actually posted before the Itchinchuachi update came, so I'm gonna scrap your Crossy Land idea just because obviously Crossy Land's gone now. But the crops idea is a good idea, and then I just threw this comment here from Crystal Aquamarine, where it says, "I'm surprised they didn't add Mr. Bergstrom yet because kind of relevant to this idea." So of course, Mr. Bergstrom or Brook, or however the heck you say it, really cool character, and definitely one I would like to see. He's in my he's at least in my top 30s. I don't know if he's quite in my top 20 characters because I'm not like a massive fan. I know a lot of people, a lot of you guys are. A lot of people really like his character and they love him so much and they want to see him in the game. I understand that. I'm not a massive fan of his episode. Like it's a nice episode, but I'm not a massive fan of his character. But I would like to see him in the game, regardless. So of course, this is an apartment building. It's called the Happy Gypsy. So this is where he lives. This is kind of an apartment complex. So this is where he used to live in Springfield before he moved. So they could add him with that. That would be perfect. Of course, we have the train station, which he talked about, which is the train station he of course leaves on in that really emotional scene at the end of the episode with Lisa. No idea what the heck the Casino Jesse is. I'm not really too sure what that was. So please do elaborate or send me a picture or whatever. Thank you. That would be great. And also the crops. Now the crops is a cool idea. I'm glad you brought this up because the reason I showed this picture is these are two of the crops that were on the unreleased files. So this is the Patch Kid and the meth plant. So these two crops, and there's two other crops. I think one's a tofu plant, I think, and I forget what the fourth one is. But there's 4 unreleased Cletus's crop plants that were meant to be released like years ago, like 3 years ago or 4 years ago. They were meant to release them and they never did, along with like the giant toilet and all that. So all 4 of these I think are really good big potentials and would be great if they added them in. Now a way they could possibly add them in, actually no, I was going to say levels, but I'm a bit delusional today. Doesn't matter. I mean, I'm not sure how they could add them in. They could do some sort of agricultural update, maybe. I'm not sure if there would be enough content for that, to be honest, though. But some way they could add the crops in would be really cool, because I would like to see these crops, these unreleased crops, be added, and hell, maybe even some more crops as well. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, the crops idea is actually a good thing to bring up because I do want to see these unreleased crops in the game. I want to see all the unreleased items in the game, to be honest, because it feels like a waste that they're in the files, but they've not actually been added into the game. But yeah, so that's it for this episode. So we'll be doing episode 10 next week. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please do subscribe. If anyone's wondering about the Q&A, I told you this happens, some little cheeky, like 4 or 5 people, they're being really cheeky and they unsubscribed. So I've gone back down to like 1,497 or something. So if you want to see the Q&A, tell your friends to subscribe, or subscribe with a second account. I don't mind. I want to be secure in 1,005,000. So 1,005 will mark the day I make my Q&A. I'm gonna leave it a few days, but please do get your questions in by Friday, because by Friday I'm gonna start making the video, and then I'll upload it when I do get that 1,505 subscriber milestone. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next one. Goodbye.